Hi, Kevin. Nice to see you.
I
Hmm. I think, my first question after watching They Slash Them is, and reflecting on your career, is who's the scarier villain? Is it Owen? Is it Jason? Or is it the underground creepy crawlies of Tremors?
well, I mean, here's the thing that's scary about this is how I would compare those. The graboids are actual monsters. Jason uh is I mean, he's technically a human being, but he seems to have evolved into having almost kind of like supernatural sort of powers. But the scariest part about Owen is that he's a real man. He's you know, he's he could be in your family.
He could be in your family. I mean, people like him actually exist in the world, and that's where my head went to too.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
conversion therapy, as you know, is a very scary process, and the people who are leading that are even scarier. You really tap into this sort of like warmness that's very unsettling.
Yeah, well, that's something that John Logan and I talked about a lot. We didn't want to come right out of the gate and have the guy be a drill sergeant or kind of Bible thumping or terrorizing people right away. We wanted to bring everybody in a gentle and warm sort of embrace, and that's left us a place to go, so that when the anger and the fear and the manipulation and the darkness of Owen's character come through, it comes as a little bit more of a surprise, and it's becomes more chilling in that way.
Yeah, yeah, it really truly does. You really embody that. For someone who's long been an LGBTQ plus ally, as well as Kira, what was the appeal of doing this movie, seeing as though it's set at a conversion therapy camp, given the actual horror of that process?
I think, it's one thing to make a movie about, very important issues. But sometimes you can make small dramas about these things, and you're going to be preaching to the converted because they're not going to have any kind of widespread appeal. Whereas if you can take, as John, so brilliantly did, take this kind of horrible notion and package it in a film that has the possibility of widespread, sort of viewing, then there's something beautifully, Trojan horse subversive kind of like messaging about that. And
Yeah,
I think what John really wanted was for young people on the fringes who are feeling bullied or are closeted or living in some part of the country where who they are is completely unaccepted, would be able to see themselves up on that screen and feel a sense of identity. But another, nice, the best outcome would be that someone who thinks in the same way that Owen thinks, or that Carrie Preston's character thinks, sees this and questions this very notion of conversion. That they go, well, wait a second, this is just not right.
have you known people like a Carrie Preston or an Owen in your own life, and had to have a conversation about why conversion therapy is not the right route for
I,
a queer
I
child?
I can't say that I have. Uh,
Yeah.
I can't say that I have. I also have a feeling that if they did feel that way, that they probably wouldn't bring it up with me. But
They know you better. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
than that.
but
Yeah.
also maybe that just speaks to a kind of rarefied bubble of an existence that I live in. But no, I have not. I have not met anybody that would believe in conversion therapy.
Well, I'm glad you're a part of this movie. I think it does make an important statement. I was reflecting on the horror genre in general and thinking back to the way that transgender and gender nonconforming people have been portrayed, going back to Psycho or Silence of the Lambs, for example.
Mhm.
They haven't always been, and oftentimes have not been portrayed in a positive light. They've been the victim, or the villain. This
Sure.
movie seeks to change that.
It does. It does.
And I want to know how you think that this represents that community in particular in a different light.
Well, yeah, I mean, and horror, horror can be different sort of genres, as you know. There's psychological horror, and there's slasher movies, there's monster movies, zombie movies, vampires. There's different kind of worlds. In the slasher world, the tradition was to take things that were society had deemed morally wrong, such as drug use, premarital sexuality, homosexuality, even goofiness, race, obesity, anything, and kill those people. That was the sort of way that people seem to agree on that was a good idea. And so this movie is definitely flipping that notion. I think that horror in general, Get Out being, one of the great examples of this, is having a little bit more of a point of view. It doesn't always have to, as far as I'm concerned. It can just be, somebody in a closet with a knife, but if it's done well. But I do think that it's got more of a point of view. And I can tell you that on the first scene that we shot in the movie was me walking out on that porch and looking at those people. And while I was really trying to stay in the headspace of the character, I have to say that I felt a tremendous amount of pride with the fact that these young people were standing there in front of me and brought together in this film by John Logan and by Blumhouse in order to be genuine representations of all different kinds of people that make up the society.
I felt that as well. I have to wrap, but I think I just want to end with acknowledging the fact that you've done a lot of work that the queer community loves. And there's a lot of ways to answer this. Footloose, Wild Things, even Friday the 13th, because, let's be frank here, you were quite the hunk then. And so there's just so many opportunities to answer this question. But when in your career do you first remember being aware that you had an LGBTQ fan base?
I honestly don't. I'm so happy to hear that. I don't even. That never even crosses my mind. Great. That's cool. And but maybe I just became aware just now at this moment.
No way. Come on. Not the guy who did Wild Things. There's no way that there weren't gay men coming up to you on the streets and acknowledging that role.
Well, Wild Things was crazy because I didn't even really think about the fact that male nudity would get so much attention was something that I don't know about me. It's just naive of me, but it didn't even cross my mind that it was gonna become what it became. But it was great, and I like to be acknowledged in any kind of way. So thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. All right. Well, thanks for being a part of this movie. I'm glad it's going to be out there soon because I think it does it sends an important message. So thank you, Kevin, for your time. It was nice to talk to you and meet you in virtual life. So you take care, okay?
All right. Take care. Thanks.